Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your daily dose of zombies news from the game and its community here on COD Zombies HQ. Thank you so much for tuning in today, because there is a lot to talk about that I didn't expect we'd be talking about today. But before we get to what that is, let's kick things right off with our first story of the day. This one is in relation to an unfound Easter egg on Firebase Z, where it was found within the files of the map itself, the asset for what the leading theory is to be a friendly mangler Easter egg on the map itself. So while it's likely that the Easter egg is on the map, how to actually solve it hasn't been totally found out yet. But what we have found out is lending more credibility to the fact that this is going to be a friendly mangler Easter egg. Where Reddit user Debunska Games points out that in his game, he managed to get the mangler totally not aggroing anybody and randomly running around or standing totally still like a lot of the other zombies models do when they have no one to attack. The manglers actually have a fairly long extended idle animation, which would make sense that they would have if there was a friendly mangler Easter egg on the map, where just like the Civil Protector all the way back in Shadows of Evil, there would be times where it wouldn't be doing anything. It'd be standing completely still, has no zombies to attack, and Treyarch wanting to add that little bit of extra detail has given it an extended idle animation so it doesn't just appear to be a stiff robot. There's been a bunch of theories on how to actually advance this Easter egg, everything from using the essence collectors to a specific type of alternate ammo type to relating it to a certain portion of the map itself. But again, nothing has been advanced on that front yet. I'll let you know when there's progress. Next up, Treyarch tweeted out this GIF today with the caption, "Breach scale large 0% confirmed." Now that text relates to this chalkboard we see over on Firebase Z that specifically mentions the same phrase, 0% confirmed, with the location being the Ural Mountains. Now if you've looked through your YouTube feed today, you'll see that a lot of people are relating this GIF to Kino with a similar looking chandelier in the GIF as to on that, with a very similar looking aesthetic to it, but really makes sense, and something is extremely wrong with the general idea of the timeline of when we're going to be getting new zombies content upcoming in Season 2. Where we thought up until this point, the leading theory would be that at the beginning of Season 2, Call of Duty would receive this mass zombies outbreak event across Zombies and Warzone to celebrate the beginning of the new season. That new event would include the Zombies Outbreak mode, which would be set on a Fireteam map from multiplayer. And we expected that map and that Outbreak mode to be the location in the Ural Mountains that was mentioned in Firebase Z, where it wouldn't really be like a new zombies map, but rather an adjusted or edited multiplayer map to suit a new open world zombies game mode. But this image kind of throws a wrench in that plan, because if this image does in fact depict some kind of remake or remaster of Kino der Toten, we know that the original Kino was set in East Berlin, and specifically East Germany is mentioned on that same chalkboard where this caption was taken from, as being 94% contained. So we expected that we'd be seeing this Berlin Kino der Toten remake released at the end of Season 2, or at the beginning of Season 3, way down the line. But here's the thing, Treyarch just straight up wouldn't be teasing a new map content that is straight up months away from releasing. If they're teasing it now, it's likely to be releasing within 2 to 4 weeks from when they initially teased it, which has got people asking the question, are we gonna see a new zombies map coming to Cold War a whole lot sooner than we expected, perhaps near the beginning of Season 2 itself in like a week and a half or two? Well, on that front, the realist and pessimist side of me is just straight up saying no, that's not gonna happen. If there is gonna be a totally new zombies map, it's likely to release at the end of Season 2, probably a month and a half, 2 months away. This might be part of some kind of cinematic, or it's totally being misidentified as anything related to Kino der Toten, and this will just be some kind of added part to the Fireteam map for the Outbreak mode, which we believe to be releasing first before a kind of new straight up regular zombies map will be. And it's kind of everybody misidentifying this area as Kino der Toten that is kind of causing a whole bunch of confusion right now. Of course, on the opposite end, the unrational optimist in me says, well, this is really interesting. They might actually be releasing some kind of remake of Kino along with the start of Season 2. And if you notice looking back at that chalkboard, where a bunch of other locations that we've already been to are around like 80% contained of their zombie outbreaks, the location within East Germany is already 94% contained, right? So, which might signal that the map in which this would be set on would be a lot smaller than other maps we previously had. So could Treyarch be releasing a Kino kind of remake slash remastered as a smaller map that isn't fully featured and pretty massive like Firebase Z and Die Maschine is, rather releasing it as kind of a smaller survival map to kind of continue pumping up new zombies content at a pace that we haven't ever seen before. And we do know from leaks before the game was even released that Treyarch, at least in some point in development, was considering making the Nachteruntoten portion of Die Maschine its own survival map. Why they didn't end up doing that, we don't know, but it might not necessarily dissuade them from doing it in the future, knowing that they had plans to do it at one point in development. This also does bring up a huge debate in the zombies community that was put down a little bit. It was dampened a bit with the release of Firebase Z, as Firebase Z is the first map since Gorod Krovi that is entirely new, that it doesn't have any kind of part of a remake or remaster in it. It is totally all new areas. If we are going to be seeing a remade or remastered portion of Kino der Toten, while it would fit in with the general leaks we've had before the launch of the game, some players might be kind of disappointed that they're not totally going for new content again and are still kind of rehashing the classics of old. I'm not exactly sure where you would fall on that debate, but what we can kind of surmise bringing forward from Firebase Z is taking a look at all the assets of the Firebase Z map itself. The scenery and the buildings are pretty much all reused assets from the campaign of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, which we expected them to do since the launch of the game. It's awesome that Firebase Z confirms this, but it also might lend some credibility to the fact that we might be getting new zombies maps a lot sooner than we thought, especially if it's a Kino der Toten remaster set somewhere in East Berlin, which was featured prominently in the Black Ops Cold War campaign, so they could reuse assets from that campaign on a new zombies map, which would drastically increase the rate of production of new zombies maps, which would then in turn explain why we're seeing new content a lot sooner than we expected. Treyarch's known for kind of throwing curveballs at the zombies community, and they definitely swerved us today with this release where before we really expected we knew where they were heading with Season 2, but this release today does definitely go to show that they have a bunch of surprises tucked up their sleeve, which is always awesome to feel in the zombies community once again. But guys, that wraps up the news today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hey, if you did, why not leave a thumbs up on the video? Be sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. But I want to thank you once again for watching, and I'll see you with another zombies news update tomorrow. Peace.